Hey record loving friends, it's Brian from Tokyo Record Style. Today I am outside of the famous Flash Disc Ranch. It is my all-time favorite record store in Tokyo. Why? Is it because it has the best selection of records? Not exactly. Is it because it has the nicest staff? Not exactly. Although Tsubaki-san is one cool dude who I love a lot. Is it because it has the best prices in town? Well, they're not bad, they're pretty good. Is it because they have the latest, newest stuff? Not exactly. It's just a quintessentially cool record shop. And that is probably why it was featured in the recent Wim Wenders movie, Perfect Days, with Koji Yakusho. I was so anticipating seeing this film when I heard about it, and I heard a lot of different opinions about the film. It's about a custodian who goes around Tokyo and cleans public toilets. And he listens to music on his trips between the various custodial jobs that he has to do. And he plays great music from the Velvets and from Patti Smith and from Springsteen. And I really, really loved the movie. One of the reasons that I really loved the movie was because I thought it was an authentic depiction of Tokyo life, of the feel and vibe of Tokyo. Also because so many of the places featured in the film are my stomping grounds. The very first scene in the film was just a stone throw away from my office, and I said, oh my God, that's Taco Cohen. When I saw them walking down the street in one of these scenes, I said, oh my gosh, they're right by Flash Disc Ranch. Surely they're not gonna go to Flash Disc Ranch. And sure enough, they turned up the stairs and went up, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna go up to Flash Disc Ranch and Tsubaki-san's gonna be there. And unfortunately, a different character was playing the role of the record shop owner. But today I thought I would take you on another wild adventure. I'm going to show you the 17, we'll see if we get that far, toilets that were featured in this movie. Not all of them were featured in the movie, but they are all part of a project called Tokyo Toilet. A bizarre topic, I admit, for a YouTube video, but it's also kind of interesting, and I think it's a fascinating peek into Japan and Tokyo life. I thought I would start here at Flash Disc Ranch in Shimokitazawa, and I would take you across Tokyo to see some of these toilets that are on my path to work every day. They're all designed by award-winning architects. They help beautify our city and get a more enjoyable and pleasant city for strolling around and getting from here to there. So without further ado, let's head off on another Tokyo record style adventure, this time to see some Tokyo toilets. Flash Disc Ranch is on my list of places to show you guys, but it's a little tricky. Tsubaki-san is the quintessential record store owner, and I'm a little bit intimidated to ask him, despite him being one of my oldest acquaintances in Tokyo, who used to be very kind to let me set up my street studio right in front of his shop here. I hesitate to ask him because he's just so cool. So anyway, another day we'll come back to Flash Disc Ranch. If you come to Tokyo, be sure to check out Flash Disc Ranch. It's been featured on Tokyo Record Style a number of times. But let's go check out these toilets, shall we? Okay, off we go. Okay folks, we are at the first public toilet. It is in Sasazuka, just a few clicks away from Shimokitazawa. Now we're going to be learning about these toilets together. I don't know them all, I haven't visited them all, but they're all really interesting and unique, and like I said, designed by world-renowned architects. And let's check them out and see what we can learn about Tokyo. I can already tell you this is a very well-used toilet. I see lots of people coming in and out of it on their way to the station. It's a residential area and a very heavy-duty footpath. There's a lot of people traveling on their way to the station, so it's a nice little pit stop if you need. It is comprised of these steel exterior cylinders and this bright, vibrant yellow rooftop, and it is actually called Sasazuka Gateway, and it was designed by Junko Kobayashi, So I'll show you the men's and the all access and the kids toilet. Obviously I won't show you the women's, but let me tell you a little bit about the toilet before we get going. It says here, this is toilet of town lights, okay? A large yellow oval awning hangs over the series of cylinder toilets of various heights with silhouettes of rabbits peeking out from the round windows installed on the exterior site walls. Site-specific circumstances required a lightweight construction, so we decided to use a weather-resistant steel plate panel structure for the facility design. We also made a large awning hang overhead, creating a sky-like opening to eliminate the dark and closed feeling of the tracks. The weather-resistant steel plate panels have been rusted once to retain their strength and texture indefinitely. So we'll get a good close look at the texture is quite nice actually. We wanted to create a public toilet that has a strong presence, like a stubborn old man who is always watching over the people, while also creating a fun and entertaining atmosphere at the same time. A lot of consideration went into this, conceptual consideration for this public toilet. The opening to the facility is wide, giving it a massive yet open feel with a bright and clean interior that is also secure and safe. So Junko-san Kobayashi, this is her. I'll pull up a picture of her, but there she is. There goes the Keio Line right overhead, westbound. Interestingly about Kobayashi-san, I'm sure she's a very renowned architect. I'm just learning about her right now. It says that she was the head of her class in architecture. It says she's the head of First Class Architecture Online Gondola, president of Japan Toilet Association. So she graduated from Japan Women's University School of Home Economics, Department of Residence in 1967, worked at Tanaka Nishino Design Office, began working in the design of public toilet projects after having participated in the design of 500 million yen public toilet project Charm Station in 1989. So some notable work that she's done include 250 public toilet project, good grief, including Daimaru Tokyo, Shonan Station Building, Narita Airport. So she's got a long list of accolades. So let's have a quick look at this interesting public toilet. She mentioned the rabbits peeking out of the small windows. They're right here, and here's this really rough, rusty, textured out exterior. It's quite nice. Yeah, it's got some kind of sophistication about it. It's got a beautiful patina. There's a little signage down here. The Tokyo toilet, designed by Junko Kobayashi of Gondola Architects. There is a all-access toilet here for kids and people who need special access. And there's always like a little kids toilet with a little door that the kids can make sure that, you know, they have their privacy, but also mom and dad can check in on them. And they have a little washlet outside with a little mirror. And on the interior, you can see the windows with the little rabbits peeking out. And I won't show you the entire toilet, but there's a nice interior. There is some important information signage here with Braille. It tells you exactly the outline of the toilets, and you can feel where the toilets are and where the walls are, and an explanation of all the different facilities. And once again, the lovely rabbits. It's right here under the train tracks. So, our first stop on the toilet tour, Junko Kobayashi of Gondola Architects, Sasazuka Greenway. So what do you think? You want to do 16 more of these? Let's see how it goes. It's kind of nice, right? And you know, if you're having an emergency, it's nice to go to a place that's well kept, and they keep these very nice, and that's the whole point of the movie, is that the protagonist goes every morning and cleans these toilets up and makes sure that they are nearly as nice as your toilets back home. What a place to have a little pit stop. Okay, let's head over to the next stop, number 2 on the list. Here we go. Okay, we are here at the second toilet. It is next to Hatagaya Daini Park, which is right next to my very first home in Tokyo. And there's a little funny story about it. My friend Taku, who gave me his life, who gave me his apartment, gave me his motorcycle for my first 5 years, gave me the big soft landing that allowed me to live in Tokyo. We basically traded places. He went to India, I stayed in Tokyo. He said, here's my apartment, here's the mailbox where you put the rent, here's how to make rice, here's how to turn on the heat, here's the key to my motorcycle, here's the post office and the Sento, the public bath, good luck. I was so excited. I was living in Japan and it was my first day, and I walked around my neighborhood about 100 times and I could not find my apartment on the first night, and I ended up sleeping at Denny's the first night that I was in Tokyo. So funny story, Hatagaya is where I called home for the first 5 years, and that is where we are right now in Hatagaya, and you are looking at the second toilet of the Tokyo Toilet Project. Pretty interesting. It's got a nice stone flooring and a big lofted ceiling. And again, I can see the all-access toilets. They've got actually 2 here for the children, probably because it's next to the park, both of which are, I think, women as well. And then there's a men's toilet over here in a narrow passageway. And we might be able to have a little peek because there's nobody in here. Will the light pop on? Yep, the light pops on. And yeah, okay. So there's your nice, look how nice it is. It's kept pretty well, right? Hey, look at it, it's like a nice basin, nice Toto toilets, you know, these great Japanese toilets. I think if you need to go, if you're having an emergency, you can, here, we'll check out one of the access toilets. So you've got the open and close button, and let's just open it up. And we've got an automatic door, and if we've got some disabilities, when we come in, we can just close the door. The door closes, and we've got, you know, these are the kinds of things that our character in the movie Perfect Days comes and cleans up each morning. But you've got even the heated toilet seat, and the washlets, and the sound things, and the wand cleaner, and the position and pressure, all these gadgets that you've got with the Toto stuff. A place to hang your coat, a place to keep your baby while you're taking care of business, a clean and nice diaper changing station, and I'm not even sure what this is, but something there. So yeah, I can't believe we're gonna do this, but let's go ahead and open the door back up, and we'll learn about this design. This was actually, I think, the only space that was designed by a non-Japanese architect, and I will tell you all about him. Okay, so this toilet in Hatagaya does have a name. It's actually called With Toilet. That's the name of the project. And it was designed by Miles Pennington of the University of Tokyo DLX Design Lab. His statement here about the project says, does a public toilet ever try to be the center of attention in a local community? Public toilets can often become underused, lose their value to people, and gradually forgotten. To try to reverse that trend, we created With Toilet. It is a public toilet combined with an additional function space which can be used for various purposes by everyone. We hope that it will be used as an exhibition space, pop-up kiosk, small information center, or a cozy meeting space, and become the center of a local community. So that is very cool. So it says here, architectural design, Kotaro Imai Laboratory and Kentaro Honma Laboratory from IIS, the University of Tokyo. So Miles Pennington, who is getting the credit here, is a professor of design-led innovation that helped direct a unique international design lab. Previously, he was at the Royal College of Art in London. Okay, so we have lots of friends from the RCA in London, and he was head of program of the Innovation Design Engineering IDE Joint Master's Program with Imperial College. Okay, so he's got a long list of accolades here, and I think he's been here in Japan since 2007. So that's pretty interesting. This space is supposed to be imagined as a space to have a gathering spot. Maybe meet up with your friends, grab some respite from the summer heat or perhaps the pouring June rains. Another really interesting project, number 2 on the list in Hatagaya, With Toilet, this one's called. Okay, off to number 3. Where are we headed next? Okay, folks, they're getting more interesting. This one is just down the street from the last one and even closer to my old stomping ground. Still here in Hatagaya, it is this peculiar sphere dome-shaped toilet, which is adjacent this sort of dirt patch, excuse for a park, but a nice place to walk the dog. It's next to a public parking lot for people in the neighborhood whose homes or apartments don't have parking. Now, the access to this toilet is over here on the side. This has a really interesting concept. The architect is named Kazoo Sato, and his design was to create a contactless toilet. The name of this project is called Toilet. You're meant to be able to use this toilet without touching anything. He said that we spend a lot of time touching the fixtures and using our hips to open and close doors and use toilet paper to turn things on and off. And the concept of this toilet is that you needn't use your hands at all. It can be contactless. On the men's side, there's no door here, and as soon as you walk in, the light comes on, and there's a nice, again, a couple urinals and a nice little basin here and some kind of moody lighting. And then over here on the all access and women's side, there's a sign here that says Hi Toilet. And when I come over here to the door, I can see that I can scan my QR code. Okay, so we got some blue lights and we come in. When we walk in, we've got the nice toilet, the nice basin for those with disabilities, a nice sink here, and we've got other commands that we can use. We've got the buttons, but it says here, open the door, close the door, what else can you do? Say hi toilet, then after the chime, state your command. Turn on the sink, turn off the sink, say hi toilet, then after the chime, state your command. Let's see if this works. Hi toilet, close the door. I don't know if it actually works. Hi toilet, flush the toilet. Uh-oh, maybe I need to be sitting down. Let's see. Hi toilet, turn on the sink. Well, I'm sure it's probably motionless, yes. I can tell by the outdoor wall that they've had to replace the monitor on it once. So it seems something is happening here. So perhaps it once worked better than it does now. Nice concept. Bye toilet, close the door. Okay, so much for that one. Hey, you know, you can't get it perfect every time. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. Okay, so again, this was designed by Kazoo Sato, and it's called Hi Toilet. Kazoo-san, you need to come and fix your toilet. I think it's out of order. But he says here about the project that my inspiration to design a fully voice-activated toilet came about after much research and reading around users' behaviors in public toilets across Europe and the US. To avoid contact with the surface, 60% stepping on toilet levers to flush, 50% opening the door with toilet paper, 40% closing the door with hips, and 30% avoiding hand contact as much as possible. After 3 years of research, planning, and designing, we came up with the concept of voice command toilet. Okay, we need to get the voice command toilet working. The idea has been in place long before the arrival of COVID-19, but COVID accelerated the acceptance of this unique user experience. We need to improve on that unique user experience. So if this toilet could deliver a clean city Tokyo image to the world, I would be extremely happy. Well, it's a good concept, A for effort. Let's get in there and get it fixed. We can use AI now to level up the voice recognition. But salute to you, Kazoo Sato. He is with Disruption Lab team. Born in '73, only a couple years older than me. Okay, received numerous awards both in Japan and abroad for works that transcend the boundaries of media. Served on the jury at Cannes in the film category in 2012 and the product design category in 2017. He was the 2013 Campaign Magazine Creative of the Year, and he was also Pen Magazine, which is a really cool magazine, Creator of the Year award in 2019. So pretty interesting. A for effort. Let's get it fixed and head over to the next toilet, shall we? Oh, by the way, it looks like it might start to rain, in which case this may take 2 days to do, which would be probably smart. Oh, I think I just felt a drop. Yeah, we might get one more in before it starts raining. But tomorrow's supposed to be sunny, so maybe we can get an earlier start, pull this all together. Let's see if we can squeeze one more in. Okay, folks, we are on Route 20, Koshukaido, right next to the big thoroughfare and Shoto highway. It's a little bit hard to call this patch of concrete and asphalt and bricks a park, but it's a green street, Ryokudo. And because the trees don't have leaves at the moment, it's a little bit less green than usual, but it might be a path for the kids to get to and from school safely that's not on the busy sidewalk. And I can see some swing sets, and as soon as I get off the street a little bit, it calms down. Maybe not quite a majestic park, but still quite nice. I see some kind of cool apartment buildings. A nice place for walking the dog in the morning. Early morning stroll. I bet the old timers are doing calisthenics here in the morning. A long green street with no cars or bikes, just pedestrians, joggers, and the like. It looks like this toilet is a little hidden away from me. I know it's around here somewhere. Let's have a look around this corner. Here are the brooms for the park caretakers to come and sweep up the leaves and the trash. They come here and clean up the park every morning. I think I can see the toilet. And I read about this toilet. It was not a very pleasant one before. It took a fair amount of effort to make it a little bit nicer. One of the draws of working on the toilets is that people will use them. You almost want to think that people won't use them so they stay nice and clean, but the people behind the project very much want the toilets to be used. So I'm here again on another one of these little green streets. It seems that there's a couple of them running parallel to each other. Not sure I want my kid playing back here, but hey, you know, it's a big city. You gotta have some patch of dirt to run around in. Make some mud balls, maybe chase some pigeons around. And we're coming up upon it, and we're here in this sort of canyon of apartment buildings, and it's kind of nice. It's back here and it's pleasant. Here our little green street gets a little bit nicer. We see some red brick, we see a cool designer home. Something quite funky and architectural. And I can imagine how this toilet was at one point not very nice, but now it's quite inviting with its green doors and its green signpost here that tells me all I need to know about it in Braille as well. Well, let's find out a little bit about it. Okay, so it was designed by Takanosuke Sakakura. Sakakura-san is a very nice guy. I've had the chance to meet him on a number of occasions. I work amongst architects. So that's one of the reasons this project is particularly interesting to me. He is calling this the Andon toilet. The former toilet in Nishihara Ichome were uninviting and rarely used. We thought it was important to create a facility that not only fulfills the basic requirements of a public toilet, such as having enough toilets to ensure reasonable wait time, but offers a unique appeal that encourages more people to use the facility. By constructing a facility that is bright and open in the limited space on the site, we hope to improve the image of not only the toilet but the entire park. We hope that the toilet will illuminate the park like an Andon or lanterns. Okay, the Andon, that's a lantern, I guess. I wasn't aware that that's what the lanterns are called, Andon. Creating an inviting public space for the visitors. Okay, a little bit more about Sakakura-san. He was born in Tokyo in 1946 and he is the son of Junzo Sakakura. Junzo Sakakura-san was once the president of the Architectural Association Association of Japan. He also famously worked at Le Corbusier's atelier in Paris, and he rose to the position of studio chief during his 7-year stay at the studio, and he collaborated with Le Corbusier on the National Museum of Western Art in Tokyo, so a really great project. And his son, Sakakura-san, graduated from the Department of Architecture at Nihon University and joined his father's research institute, later changed the name to Sakakura Atelier. Currently serves as the chairman of the board of directors at the Sakakura Associates, and his major works include the Gallery Saka and the residential building in Tokyo Midtown, among other projects. These nice, big, inviting green doors. Shall we have a quick look? So we have men and women in both sides, and let's have a quick peek. So again, we've got the automatic door open, sliding doors, and a very nice and clean toilet, urinal, some nice summery tree motif. Okay folks, here it is. Brian 2 weeks later on a little reshoot. For whatever reason, when I got back to my computer with this footage, it was somehow disappearing, and I didn't want to leave you hanging. So back to the lovely tree motifs here and the very inviting green doors that automatically open. And when we walk out of the park, we see the beautiful Andon toilet by Sakakura-san and Associates. Very lovely, unassuming toilet right here that really helps to beautify this green street, and probably a much better option than the typical, mini toilet that you see at some Japanese parks. Very, very nice. And it's obvious that safety was a concern, because it can be a little beacon of safety in the dark nights of Tokyo right here off of Koshukaido. So I really enjoyed this one, and I'm glad that I got to come back and finish this video. Yes, I can see it just shining like a Andon here on this back alley street of Tokyo. Okay, back over to you 2 weeks earlier, Brian. Take it away. Okay folks, we're at the last toilet of the day. There has been a line of taxis out here. Taxi drivers often know how to navigate the city where there are public toilets. There are a handful of taxi cabs that are coming and going right here. I would like to be able to stop if I was driving a cab at a nice toilet like this. This actually kind of even resembles a toilet basin. White and curved, inviting. You'll notice it has faucets here at different heights, designed for different people. And here's the women's and men's over here. This is designed by So Fujimoto, who is an award-winning architect here in Japan, who's been established since the early 2000s. Let's have a quick peek at the toilet. Just admire this beautiful design. Let's see, the entrance is here. It's got a little kind of Tatooine desert Santa Fe vibe. I can see there's a all access here on the left. Yeah, very bright. And it looks like it's gonna have a little cleanup here in the morning. Let's see if it comes back to life again. Nice lighting over here. We don't have the automatic doors on this toilet, but we have another one with the kids station and all the amenities. Looks like a lot of taxi drivers have passed by today. I'm sure this one gets used quite a lot. I love this little hallway. It's got like a sort of eucalyptus type tree here. Very cool space. Right here in the center of Nishisando. This is in the west side of Shinjuku, and a main thoroughfare to cut across the city. Let me tell you just a little bit more about it. So this project's name is called Vessels and Fountains. It is done by, as I said, So Fujimoto. And it says here in the statement about the project, I believe that a public toilet is an urban watering place, a fountain in the city. We propose a public hand washing facility that is open not only to those who have used the restroom, but also to a wide variety of people with different purposes. The toilets act as a single large vessel made for everyone's use. The shape of the facility, with its large concave center, is the result of incorporating hand washing stations of various heights, intended to create a small community of people, from children to the elderly, to gather around the vessel, to wash their hands, drink water, and engage in conversation. That's nice. We would like to propose a new type of public space where people can gather and communicate around water. Okay, very nice. nice. And So Fujimoto, a few of his accolades. He was born in Hokkaido in 71. He graduated from Todai, from the Department of Architecture. And among his recent renowned projects is the first prize at the 2014 international competition for the second folly of Montpellier in France. Additionally, in 2015, 2017, and in 2018, he won several international competitions with first prize in various European competitions. In Japan, this is interesting, he was selected as the Expo site, the Osaka Expo that's happening this year, design producer for the 2025 Japan International Exposition in Osaka and Kansai. So in 2021, he was selected as the designer for the Co-Innovative University in Hida, Takayama City. And some of his notable past works also include House of Music in 2021 and the Serpentine Gallery Pavilion in London in 2013. That's a very big architectural honor. He also did the Musashino Art University Museum and Library and many more projects. So Fujimoto, that is a very lovely public toilet. I enjoyed driving past it. I'm glad that I finally stopped and checked it out. It seems it's really popular with the taxi drivers, so that's good. You're providing a public service for our city, so thank you very much for this nice water basin public toilet. I might come here and wash my hands sometime. Okay, back tomorrow with more Tokyo Toilet. Thank you for joining me on this rather obscure Tokyo record style adventure. Are you having fun? I am. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, it is a new day, January 24th. It happens to be the Emperor's birthday today, and the sun is shining, and I am starting over on my tour of the Tokyo Toilet Project. And I am back at So Fujimoto's Vessels and Fountains, one of 17 public toilet projects that were made to beautify the city and make little oases of respite for those in a jam. As you can see, it's quite a different project to see in the daytime as it is at night, and I think you should take note of that on some of the toilets that we'll see today. They are different and inviting in different ways and something to behold at different times of the day when a different light is shining on them. So I'm glad that we could come back and appreciate this one in the daytime. We've got half a dozen or more to see, so let's continue on our tour. Off we go. Okay, this one might turn into a slightly interesting one because we are outside of Yoyogi Park. Why not show you what's happening down the road here? We're at these little soccer grounds that are across the street from the park. We're at the next toilet as part of the Tokyo Toilet Project, and I see some interesting people wearing Charmander Pokemon outfits because we have come across the Mario Karts. There are about a dozen of these go-karts that zip around Tokyo. You can have this experience where you sign up and you get guided around the city in a go-kart and you get to play Mario Kart in real life. And they're all here at one of the public toilets, which is funny. And he's actually giving a tour of it right now. So we're here. There they are. So here in this sort of dirt patch park, which is not uncommon to find in Tokyo, there's some guys playing some kind of lawn bowling. It looks like they might even be, it might be a sport from somewhere else in the world. I've never seen this before. Maybe we can ask him about it. Oh, this is quite interesting. And here's the toilet that we're gonna go see here in a second, but let's see what this is. すみません、いいですか? これ何ですか? これはボーリングみたいな感じ? モッキー。いいですか? モッキーは日本のゲーム?
どこだっけ? やばい、どこの国のやつか忘れちゃった。フィンランド。
Finland game. Okay, it's like a Finland bowling game みたいな感じ。面白い。Bowling and darts combo. Bowling and darts combination. 見たことない、初めて。First time.
50になったら勝ち。
50?
点を取り合って。
Okay, なるほど。すごい面白い。頑張ってください。ありがとうございます。Wow, interesting. It's like a combination between darts and bowling. I've never seen it before. Molki from Finland. So Here is Eeyore and Charmander, or Charizard, hanging outside of the next public toilet that we can talk about. So this is one that's slightly controversial because this one also is a little bit broken at the moment. They had a little bit of an issue with this one, and let me explain it. So this project is called Haru no Ogawa Community Park. That's the name of this park. And this is one of two toilets that are the same form factor. We'll see both of them. This one is the blue and green motif, and the next one is the orange and red motif. But these are both designed by the architect Shigeru Ban-san. It says here about these toilets, there are two things we worry about when entering a public toilet, especially those located at a park. The first is cleanliness, very true. And the second is whether anyone is inside. Using the latest technology, the exterior glass turns opaque when locked. Now, you might remember a scene in the movie Perfect Days where there's a foreigner who's coming across this toilet and she doesn't quite know how to use it, and she asks our protagonist, how exactly do we use this? And she finds out that when she turns the lock, the clear windows turn opaque. Now, you'll notice that they're opaque right now, actually. They actually apparently have had some issues with them not turning opaque and people not being able to use them. And I think it has to do with the weathering, and I'm not exactly sure. They've written a little update on what's going on the website. So this latest technology allows the users to check the cleanliness and whether anyone is using the toilet from the outside. At night, the facility lights up the park like a beautiful lantern, not unlike the one that we saw last night. It looks really quite interesting with this sort of opaque colored glass. But when they first were built, they used this technology that as soon as you lock the door, it went from a totally clear window you could see right through to the opaque glass where you could go inside. And apparently there were some troublemakers who were doing some things in here, and they've had to make them continuously opaque for the safety of the park, the safety of the privacy of the people using them. So everybody here is excited to see the toilet by Shigeru Ban, getting their photos, and they're checking it out. Let's have a quick look at them. So when we go inside, we can see, it looks like it's already been used a little bit, but still really nice. Hey Brian, you can kind of see how it might be quite interesting if you could actually see all of this, and then when you shut the door, there would be this lever that would trigger the windows going from clear to opaque. But at the moment, they've had to, learn from architecture. I know that this is part of the experience of architecture, is that you have these visions for things to work the way that you want them to work, and they sometimes just don't. But again, here we have the signage that tells us both in text and in braille how to use the toilet. Transparent, opaque, unlocked and locked by Shigeru Ban. The green one, let's see, we can see an indicator on here that it's open, it's not red. So we have another toilet. The green one. It would be really cool if they could all work properly, but unfortunately, no. But generally pretty clean and interesting experience for a toilet. This effect that we see here, light fluttering through the leaves of the tree to create this sort of bouquet and beaming lights through the trees, is called komorebi, and it's one of the repeating themes in the movie Perfect Days. The fleeting beauty of the summer shadows. And so let's head on to our next spot, another one by Shigeru Ban. This one slightly different motif, and here comes the Mario Karters. They're all getting ready to take off. We can get a quick look at them while we go back and pick up the bike right next to beautiful Yoyogi Park. This is a big sprawling park right in the middle of the city. And there's our buddies, the Japan cart. They've had some licensing issues with the Mario Nintendo people. They've had to call them some other things. See you guys. There goes Piglet, Tigger, Stitch, Charmander, and kind of silly and fun. Okay, next stop. Okay folks, we're on a little bit of a reshoot today. a little technical difficulty on the initial time we came to this park, but back at Yoyogi Fukumachi Park, it is a little park just adjacent to Yoyogi Park actually, and it serves the neighborhoods here that are off to the side of the park, Yoyogi neighborhood, and also some of the schools that don't have playgrounds. There's a couple of schools that I know that are in the area that they use this nice big field here as a place to have school festivals and a big shibafu ground to play on. And the park also has, you know, a couple of basic swing sets and playground equipment. And it also has a second version of Shigeru Bansan's crazy opaque clear changing toilet. And this is the orange and pink and purple version, and I want to just show you a little bit of it. We won't be able to see the light cascading through and the komorebi effect, but I believe this is the exact one that was featured in Perfect Days. Let me tell you a little bit more about Shigeru Ban. We already talked about him at the last stop, but we'll fill you in a little bit more about him here. What do you think? Pretty nice. It would be cool if they were still working, but at any rate, Shigeru Bansan is the only architect in the Tokyo Toilet Project who has actually 2 toilets, this one and the last one that we just saw. So Bansan was born in 1957 in Tokyo, and he established Shigeru Ban Architects in 1985, and he founded the NGO Voluntary Architects Network, VAN, which was very instrumental in responding to the 2011 earthquake here in Japan. And it's now an NPO. And he established that initially in 1995. And besides designing houses and museums, Ban is also involved in disaster relief efforts. He is the recipient of numerous awards, including the Pritzker Prize in 2014, the Commandeer of Order des Arts and des Letters in 2014. I'm assuming that's something from France. And the Mother Teresa Memorial Award for Social Justice in 2017. Salute to you, Shigeru Ban, for contributing to the Tokyo Toilet Project. We really liked both your projects, and we learned something about architecture, and we learned something about how sometimes it always doesn't go just the right way. And here we have the little chime that is telling us and telling the kids about time to be heading home. Dun, 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 dun. Dinner's about on the table. Dun, dun, dun. I love the second half of it. Dun, 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 dun. The lights going down to the west. There's remnants of it over here, up on the park, but it's late afternoon. Dun, 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 dun. Isn't that nice? We get that every day at 5 o'clock to tell our little neighborhood playground park players to head on home about that time. And as you can see, they all still want to play. It's Sunday afternoon, so. Okay, one more reshoot. Back over to you 2 weeks ago, Brian. Take it away. Okay, we are at our next location. This is the Urasando toilet. Urasando means behind the main boulevard. This is very close to Omotesando. Omotesando is a very famous street in Tokyo with lots of posh shopping places to go, and it leads up to one of the most important shrines in all of Japan, Meiji Jingu. Maybe you have visited Meiji Jingu or Omotesando or Harajuku, but we are in Urasando right now, which is in the sort of back streets of Omotesando. And right now we are at this really interesting public toilet right underneath the Shoto highway and in a very busy intersection of Tokyo, right in the heart of the city. I had said earlier that the toilet that we visited in Hatagaya was the only one that was designed by a non-Japanese person, but actually I had forgotten about this one. This is the first time I have visited this one, and this is designed by none other than the industrial designer Mark Newsom of Apple and Ferrari and Beyond frame, an industrial designer who's the mind behind the Apple Watch, among so many products that you know. In the pictures that I've seen of it online, this copper roof on top was once very bright and shimmery and bronze, and now it is turning a dark brown, dusty, and green in the background. It's getting that age-old patina that copper gets on the rooftop. But I can see underneath here, there's still sparkles of its bronze, and on top you can see the oxidation on top, on the green, which I always really love that color. All of the toilets have this important signage that tells you how to use the toilet. It has a light, maybe if somebody falls and hurts themselves in the toilet, there's a light and a speaker here that tells you maybe somebody needs some help inside. It's got this concrete facade, and inside it's got a very inviting pale green color. Let's go check it out. But we can see right here, it is just right in the heart of Tokyo and underneath the highway, a very interesting spot for a public toilet. Highly foot trafficked area, so I'm sure it's a valuable asset to the city, and a really cool stone wall here. It's got a very sort of shrine vibe to it. It's got the stone walls that you might find at the Imperial Palace or at a shrine. The copper roof you'll also find at shrines and tea rooms. Now, I've driven past this one dozens of times, and I actually didn't know that this was a public toilet, and I didn't know this was the one designed by Mark Newsom. And I can see the men are on this side. It's got curved walls. It almost feels like it could be an Apple, a Japanese only Apple product. It's got the multi-use toilet here. Let's have a quick peek inside. Oh, it's occupied at the moment. I don't want to disturb anybody, but as you can see, it's got little curved walls and nice hidden LED lighting that goes around. A little kid's place and very well kept. The toilet, the washlets, all the amenities that you find in the beloved Toto toilets of Japan. There's old Brian in the mirror. Curved surfaces, even the corners here, very soft, and you know, it's just an inviting space, and you know, the assistance for the people who need them. A nice space in here. No soap, no paper towels, you bring your own, and that is part of the Japanese public toilet experience. I love these little details actually, they're quite nice. I'm not sure if this is specific to Mark Newsom's design or if they're on all the toilets. Somehow I'm feeling that they're on all the toilets. It might be a unifying language of them. And I can see some parking here, some bicycle parking. I know that I see motorcycle parking over there, so this might be a good place to know about for motorcycle parking, which I am always on the hunt for. So this is a really cool spot. The Japan public toilet designed by Mark Newsom. Let me tell you a little bit about it from what I found on the website. Mark Newsom says about his design: central to my design is the reference to vernacular Japanese architecture, including the copper Minoko roof, often found in shrines, temples, and tea rooms, and in rural Japan. I wanted the roof form to trigger a subconscious feeling of comfort and peacefulness amid its busy, hyper-modern location. The patina on the copper pyramidic roof will integrate the structure into the city over time, so it becomes part of the fabric of Tokyo. It's already becoming that way. It is important to me that the toilet feels trustworthy and honest inside. The bright interior is seamlessly and hygienically finished in a monochromatic green, one of my favorite colors. Interesting. My design for the toilet focuses on functionality, simplicity, and creating an inviting and enduring space. I hope the toilet will become something not only magical but incredibly useful to find in Shibuya, like the many hidden gems within the city. Well, I think you've done a good job. I think this is now a new little hidden gem that I know about. I may just need to stop here for a pit stop from time to time and appreciate this lovely design. A little bit more about Mark Newsom. It says here, Mark has been described as one of the most influential designers of his generation. He has worked across a wide range of disciplines, and his clients include companies such as Louis Vuitton, Montblanc, Hermès, Nike, Dom Perignon, Jaeger-LeCoultre, and Ferrari. He's also served as the designer for special projects as Apple since his first involvement involvement in the design of the Apple Watch. In 2019, Mark and Sir Jonathan Ive founded the creative collective Love Form. He is from Sydney, Australia, and graduated from the University of Sydney in '86. With the aid of an Australian Crafts Council grant, he staged his first solo exhibition by 23, and by 25, Newson had created the now iconic Lockheed Lounge, a beautiful furniture, a metallic lounge chair that has set 4 world record prices at auction for this work created by a living designer. As a long-term supporter of the charity Red, Newson, together with Ive, curated a design auction in 2013, which raised $46 million for the organization. Newson is the only industrial designer represented by Gagosian and is also represented by Gallery Creo. Leading museums around the world have hosted solo retrospective exhibitions of his work. His designs can be found globally in the permanent collection of over 40 institutions. Very cool. His favorite color, green, and I have to admit, I quite like it myself. It really complements the copper on the roof. Okay, this was a new one to me, so I'm excited about that. And one of the great things about making this video is that anytime I need to make a pit stop, I've got a place to go. So let me have a little break and let's head on to our next spot. We've got a few more to check out. Folks, we are in Harajuku, and actually we are in the off Takashita Dori, the very famous crazy street with all the cosplay stuff. We're not in that part of Harajuku. We're in the back streets of trend-setting, very cool Harajuku. This is where you will find a lot of the bespoke fashion houses, independent labels, and people who are really creating the street fashion that people are wearing not only in Tokyo but around the world. That is why it is appropriate that they gave the honor to design the public toilet called the House right over there by the fashion designer Nigo. Nigo has been in the fashion and design game since the early 90s, I want to say. I don't know a ton about his brand, but I know that he's collaborated with just about every big fashion brand in Japan. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Okay, Nigo is a famous pioneer in street culture whose fashion brand launched in the 90s and took the world by storm. His lifestyle creations are highly acclaimed, designing mainly for human-made, but also has released collections from Louis Vuitton and Adidas. He is also the creative director for Cyberagent and Jin Sunglasses and product for Curry Up Restaurant. Oh, Curry Up Restaurant, I didn't know that. And sake brand Sake Storm Cowboy. Currently active with Universal Music in the US, and he was appointed as the artistic director of Kenzo. That's his big claim to fame. Kenzo Takara, very famous Japanese French high fashion brand since September of 2021. And he designed this public toilet in Harajuku called The House. And it's quite charming, and it's kind of not exactly what you'd expect. It says here about the space, the house. The concept of this design is learning from the past. First and foremost, I thought about its accessibility and ease of use. In contrast to the ever-changing city of Tokyo with its sky-high buildings, I envisioned a toilet that feels like a good old home. It does feel like a good old home in the back streets of Harajuku, which there are many of, and you always wonder about who's living there. The toilet may feel nostalgic to some and new to others, depending on their age and generation. Yeah, it's quaint. It's quite quaint, and maybe even a little bit classic, ahead of its time, both modern and classic at the same time. It's quite simple and lovely. Again, it has the signage here. It looks like it needs a redo. These are for rain that falls down from the gutters here, so the rain can follow an easy path down to the drainage. Aren't these beautiful? These are actually I always am quite impressed by these. Beautiful little design. And I like these nice window frames. They're quite cute. cute. I feel like they should have some shutters on them. They're very white and clean and nice finishes. I see some sort of delicate finishes. There's a ceiling on top. And let's have a quick look at the all-access toilet here. This one doesn't have the automatic doors, but it is open and it's very clean. And the rooftop has like a nice little LED strip lighting, and it feels kind of homey, and it's open ventilation, so it's not so stuffy or smelly in here. And it's got all the amenities again, the flush toilet for the special needs people, you know, nice basin with all the things. And yeah, well done Toto, who designs these amazing toilets in Japan. The changing baby station, sort of New York subway tiles here, juxtaposed on this quaint understated home here. We'll have a quick look at the men's room. It looks like it has these kind of gated doors that look like sort of a stable. Simple urinals. Our probably custodian from our movie Perfect Days, Takayama-san I think is his name. He'll come and clean these up tomorrow's morning or maybe the next day. Again, ceiling fans, nice stone finish here. Not bad. Well done, Nigo. This could have probably gone extremely sideways, and yet, as he said, it might be considered classic to some and modern to others. So I have to congratulate you. That's quite a nice little design there, even with the white picket fence. It really gives it quite a nice touch. So if you're in the back streets of Harajuku and you want to come see another interesting design of the famous fashion designer Nigo, come check out the house, his toilet in Harajuku. And there goes the Mario Karters again. There goes Spider-Man. They're just zipping across the city. Nice McLaren too. Okay, let's keep going. I'm having fun. It's a beautiful day. It's going by rather fast, and I'm excited to show you a few more places. The Tokyo Toilet Project. What do you think? Leave a comment. Folks, we are in the heart of Shibuya right now, at the very end of Cat Street over here, and kind of behind Tower Records and a few other cool record shops. And this is a little tiny park called Jingu Dori Park. This is the toilet that was featured prominently in the film Perfect Days. Hirayama is our protagonist. He comes to this toilet with his niece to clean this toilet, and this is designed by another Japanese Pritzker Prize winning architect, Tadao Ando. So this is one of the most prominent locations in all of the Tokyo Toilet Project. It is right here. A very cool spot. My first time to visit. I just saw the Narita Express drive by. I see a beautiful little garden here with flowers, and yeah, it's right here in the middle of the famous shopping district, Harajuku, Omotesando, Meiji Dori, and on. So I read about the use of this space. It has a lot to do with safety. Safety was a very big concern, and if you look at the exterior slats here, they allow for light to filter in, light from the natural environment. That's one of the features of these public toilets, is that when you go into them, you are not just cut off from the outside world. There are vents that are delightfully designed so that they not only keep the place ventilated, but keep light filtering through and don't really disconnect you from the outside, which gives you a sense of safety, I would think. Here I can see the other side of the park. There's a little walkway. We're right here behind the Sequence Hotel and the Miyashita Park complex, and it's a highly trafficked area. Lots of people who go shopping between Harajuku and Shibuya. This would be right on the path that they're coming. Japan's not really a place where they're going to be able to offer up a toilet at any kind of retail space, so it's very useful to have a toilet that the public can use. It's a very nice project here. Let's go and check it out. There is a engawa here that goes all the way around, and engawa is the room in a Japanese home that separates it from the living room and the outside. There's like a small porch, a small patio that's enclosed, and depending on the time of year, you may utilize that space in different ways. It may be used as insulation in the winter time to kind of keep the wind from getting inside your living room, and in the summertime it might be a nice place to hang out. So you can see once you come into the space a little bit further, the slats become more opaque, and as you get further into the engawa, they become more clear. So that's a really clever design feature. Men are on this side. I may have just walked through the women's on accident. I think this is the same motif that was used in the others. So I think that might be a common vernacular that's going through the entire design. Here is the men's side. Looks like it could use a little bit of attention. Very utilitarian, metal surfaces. Here's our alert in case somebody maybe falls inside. Let's have a quick look on the inside here of the multi-use space. The curved sliding door opens, kind of futuristic. All the typical amenities, the baby changing station, the basins, and the Toto fixtures and the washlets. And again, no paper towels, no hand blowers. You're meant to kind of bring your own towels or handkerchief and wipe your hands in this way. Very cool design. This was featured in the film. Hirayama-san, the protagonist, he's this custodian who comes and cleans these toilets. He goes from toilet to toilet in the film, and we're not given a whole lot of backstory about him, but I read that Wim Wenders did create a backstory for him, and that backstory has to do with the fact that he came from a very well-to-do family. He was a salaryman in a previous life, and he left this life of importance and wealth and wanted a simpler life where he could just enjoy the simpler things in life. Komorebi, the lights filtering through the trees, you know, the simpler things in life, the cassette tapes that he'd collected, books, you know, the typical afternoon of going to do laundry at the local laundromat. He gave up his life of wealth for this, and at one point in the film, his niece, his very well-to-do sister's daughter, comes and finds him. She's had a blow-up with her parents, and she wants to come hang out for a few days. She comes and lives in his kind of ratty apartment for a few days. During those couple of days, they come to this particular toilet. She begs him to bring her with him on his day to work, and he finally reluctantly agrees, and she comes, and as he's cleaning the toilet, some young, super too cool for school girl comes and kind of sim and says, "Get out of my way, I need to use the toilet, get out of here, scram," in just a little tiny inflection. And his niece sees this, and she feels quite bad for him because she knows that he's quite an amazing person and a good guy, and that's when she picks up the mop and she starts helping him clean, and she starts to appreciate what he's doing. So that was a meaningful moment in the film that I quite liked, and it was a little lesson that I think that she learned. And even though the guy is this custodian cleaning these toilets, he has a life, he's a person. He loves Patti Smith, he loves the Stones, and so on. So let me tell you a little bit more about this project. So the name of this project is called Amaya Dori, and as I said, it's created by the architect Tadao Ando. And Ando-san says about it, "I sought for this small architecture to exceed the boundaries of a public toilet to become a place in the urban landscape that provides immense public value. Using this clear and simple reasoning for the concept of this structure, I chose to utilize a circle floor plan with a spanning roof and engawa. It was vital to make a space that was comfortable and safe. Visitors can move inside the cylindrical wall of vertical louvers to feel the comfort of the wind and light from the surrounding environment. A feeling of safety will be emphasized by the free and centripetal circulation. A feeling of safety will be emphasized by the free and centripetal circulation which passes through the other side. This toilet, tucked away in the greenery that is Jingu Dori Park, will be known as Amaya Dori." A little bit more about Ando-san. Good grief, this guy's got a list of accolades. Born in 41 in Osaka, Japan, he's self-educated in architecture. Interesting. Established Tadao Ando Architects and Associates in 1969. Major works include the Church of Light, Pulitzer Arts Foundation in Chichu Art Museum, awarded the Architectural Institute of Japan Prize for the Row House, Sumiyoshi in 1979, Japan Art Academy Prize in 93, Pritzker Architecture Prize in 1995, the highest Award of Architecture, John F. Kennedy Center Gold Medal in the Arts in 2010, Goto Shinpei Award 2010, good grief, the Order of Culture in Japan, also in 2010, Commander of the Order of Arts and Letters from France in 2013, Grand Officer of the Order of Star in Italy. He's probably got a little medal that he gets to wear. The Isamu Noguchi Award of 2016, very cool. I have a Noguchi coffee table, and I'm a big fan. American Japanese designer. Held solo exhibitions exhibitions at the Museum of Modern Art in 1991, taught as a visiting professor at Yale University, Columbia University, and Harvard University, professor at the University of Tokyo in 1997, and professor emeritus of the University of Tokyo since 2003. One of the most celebrated architects in all of Japan and Japan history. Very cool one, right here in the heart of Shibuya. Thank you for sharing that one with us, Ando-san, and thank you, viewer, for coming along with me on another trip. Let's keep going. We've got a few more to see. All right, off we go to the next one. Are you having fun? I am. I am here at Konno Hachiman Shrine, and I am outside the Three Mushrooms toilet project designed by Toyo Ito. It is also featured prominently in the film Perfect Days because this is the toilet where the protagonist Hirayama-san comes and finds a little piece of paper with a tic-tac-toe game scribbled on it. He leaves his entry on the game and leaves the piece of paper for whoever might find it next, and when he comes to clean the toilet the following day, he finds out that there's been another O added to it, and they keep this game going for a little while. And this also happens to be the park where he comes to take little seedlings of trees back to his home, grows them in his little Japanese garden, a little tribute to bonsai trees perhaps. Let me tell you a little bit about this project, and then we can go have a look at it and go up to the shrine and have a peek at perhaps the very tree that Hirayama sits down in the film. Okay, so this is a highly trafficked area for people who are living and working up and down Yamate Dori, one of the main north and south thoroughfares through Tokyo. It's a highly used toilet, I would imagine. It is called Three Mushrooms. It says here, the toilets resemble three mushrooms that sprouted in the forest around Yoyogi Hachiman Shrine. Despite being built along the main thoroughfare of Yamate Dori, they sit at the footstep that lead to the shrine. The impression of mushrooms creates a sense of harmony with the forest in the background. Having three separate toilets with circulation space in between them makes it easy to navigate. Connecting paths with no dead ends also allow good visual connection, creating a safe environment and preventing crime. Okay, so safety is a very big concern of the Tokyo Toilet Project. By securing ample space and by equipping elderly and parental functions that are usually only available in accessible toilets within each toilet, ensure that the facility is truly public and accessible by everyone. Okay, so each of these toilets has this special baby changing stations that are useful to parents who have little kids. Let's hear a little bit about Toyo Ito. Born in 41, after graduating from the University of Tokyo, Department of Architecture in 65, he worked at Kiyo Nori Kikutake Architecture and Associates. Started Urban Robot in 1971, that might have been an early design studio, which was renamed Toyo Ito and Associates Architects in 79. Major works includes the Sendai Mediatek Todd's Omotesando building. You've seen the beautiful Todd's building that's right across from the Apple Store. Tama Art University Library, a very beautiful library in West Tokyo. Minanomori Gifu Media Cosmos, National Taichung Theater, the amazing performing arts center in Taichung, Taiwan. Notable awards include Architecture Institute of Japan Prize, Venice Biennale, Golden Lion, the Royal Institute of British Architects, Royal Gold Medal, the Asahi Prize, Premium Imperial Honor of Prince Takamatsu, and as I mentioned earlier, the Pritzker Prize of Architecture. He is also the leader of the Minanoie Home for All project that responds to disaster-stricken areas of Japan. It's a consortium of architects who get together and build pro bono projects for communities in need. So I'm a big fan of Ito Toyo, and let's check out his toilet. What do you say? All right, the Three Mushrooms. So the first thing you notice is that it has this gradient of these circle tiles, which are kind of funky and cool. They go from dark to light, and then there's this sort of mushroomy top, and they go all the way around, and yeah, it adds for a playful finish on the pieces, and it also goes here to the floor, and I can see there's kind of curved line resembling a mushroom. There's also an entrance here, and I can see what he was talking about, it being an open space. You can flow through the area for the men's and see the urinals. It's private and yet it's open and safe. Over in the women's, which there are two, we can see, probably ought not to go in there, but that may be where the tic-tac-toe was being played. If not, it could be in the multi-use toilet. Let's just have a quick peek. In the movie, there's a little hidden tic-tac-toe game. Actually, maybe it was right here. Every day, there was a little piece of paper that was left right here. When Hirayama-san came to clean this toilet, he noticed a little piece of paper here and pulled it out. That's where the game takes place. So yeah, typical amenities. Again, the child seat that they mentioned. You know, they've got this, if you didn't notice, this is the hand rest. That is for those in wheelchairs. It's got a backrest, you know, just so you can get cozy, do your business. The old school soap dispenser. This is for those who have the special needs. And okay, there's also a men's room with the kids situation going on. Again, like just nice fixtures. Look at these like nice basins, nice mirror. The light is open at the top. Right? I just remember like public toilets I've seen in other cities. They just pale in comparison to these. This is like the 4th or 5th Pritzker Prize winning architect who's designed one of these projects. And they are hard to come by, okay? They're not just, you don't just find Pritzker Prize winners everywhere. And that just goes to show that the level of caliber and intention and weight that the city put on this project. They're very proud of their Tokyo toilet project, and so am I. So thank you for letting me share. Let's head up to the shrine. I'm gonna move my motorcycle so it's in a little bit safer place, and then together we can go up and have a little visit up at the shrine. Let's do it. Okay, bike is moved, and let's go up to Yoyogi Hachiman. The first thing that we can see is Shisa. Shisa is the protector of the shrine. He's half lion, half dog. He has a brother over on this side, and they are two menacing characters that keep the shrine safe from demons and ne'er-do-wellers like me. And I'm coming up here on the Torii Gate. I can see a beautiful little, cute little pigeon sitting right on top of the Torii Gate. So the gate signifies that we're coming into the shrine. See the little pigeon up there? What's up, buddy? So when we come into the shrine, we do a bow, and we walk up the stone path here. And this is a really cool shrine right in the middle of the city. And I've come here many times to do different rites of passages and gatherings with friends and photos and so on. So there's a little one we're coming up on here. The Sando, the path continues on, and we come through the next Torii Gate. And I can see the shrine ahead. I can see this old Jomon era, sort of prehistory type of dwelling that has either been preserved or maybe more likely recreated. And you can see it's a thatch roofed thing where people lived in thousands of years ago. So then this would be all the various sponsors of the shrine, important people's names who have contributed to the shrine. Another little Shisa who's protecting the shrine. Some lanterns work here to the shrine. And it's nothing too grand, but still quite nice. They do the various ceremonies here like christenings, baptisms, the first visit of the shrine of the new year, weddings, and so on. And here's our old pal, Shisa, guarding over the shrine. Gorgeous shrine that's probably been rebuilt, oh, who knows, half a dozen times over the last 400 or 500 years. And it has the copper roof, similar to the one that we saw at the Mark Newsom. But over here we can see the copper has oxidized and it creates this lovely green that disappears into the backdrop. You can see the main shrine behind. There's a little walkway for the procession of the weddings and things like this. And then this would be the sort of memorial hall or maybe where you would come and get ready for a special occasion. Omikujis, the good luck papers that people get. And over here is a special tree. This is a huge, huge tree, and it is adorned with these paper lightning bolts. And I can't really tell you much about this tree other than the fact that there is a stone marker next to it that says something probably quite important, and it has probably been here quite a long time, and it is a very beloved tree of the shrine. Here are the benches in the movie where Hirayama-san comes to sit and have his sandwich, and where he takes a little break to enjoy the light filtering through the trees. We can see the light beams filtering through. This is called komorebi. And one notion of the movie is that he has left his life in busy skyscraper salaryman Tokyo for a simpler way of living. And cleaning toilets is his way to escape and follow the things that he loves to follow. Meeting the local people at his local bar and so on. And he comes to get a canned coffee every day and a little sandwich, which I picked up at the local konbini, a little cheap lunch. These canned coffees, this one's the very famous Rainbow Coffee by Boss. Yeah, they warm your hands up. They sell them in the vending machines, the hot ones. You can also get them in the convenience stores. And for some reason, they can maintain them and keep them hot, which is really nice. And then I just got like a typical egg salad and tuna salad sandwich, 268 yen and 105 yen for a little coffee. So $3 basically for a simple little lunch here. Just an interesting little side note. This is a typical Japanese packaging for a lunch sandwich. If I pull here, there's a little tab, and from there I can just access my little sandwich. And there's a funny scene in the movie where he just devours one of the sandwiches whole. I won't do that. Yeah. And another thing that I really liked about Perfect Days is that there's a photography element. He's got this sort of typology approach to photographing the komorebi, where he comes here every day when he's cleaning the toilets down below, and he takes a break, and inside his pocket he has a little film camera. He does kind of a shoot from the hip shot at the light filtering through with his film camera, and then he takes the negatives to the local lab, and he has this process that you're led to believe that he's been doing for years and years, where there's these photos are in and these photos are out, and he has in his futon closet shoeboxes and shoeboxes full of these photos that he's made every day in his daily routine of coming here. And he notices a girl sitting on the bench next to him who looks at him strangely. Perhaps she's the one who's playing tic-tac-toe with him. He's not quite sure. You're never really told whether she is or isn't. And on the day that he brings his niece along with him on his daily job, he brings her here, and when he takes out his camera to take a photo, she also takes out her film camera, and he says to her, "Oh, that's cool, you have a film camera." And she says, "Yeah, bonehead, you gave it to him." And he says, "Oh, I forgot." And there's kind of a nice little moment. There's a connection between the generations who are both appreciating the film photography. In addition to the little K car that he drives around, this little mini car that has an engine about as big as a motorcycle in it, and zipping around on Tokyo's highways, and sort of this daily exploration of the city. He also has this affinity for music. There's a great soundtrack. Music plays an important character in the film. I was very happy to kind of see that photography also does too. And you know, just going around these toilets for the last 2 days, I actually don't think it would be that bad of a gig. Maybe on a rainy day, it wouldn't be all that fun. To come and have your lunch break here, something quite nice about a daily routine where you're just, you know, on your own, listening to tunes, enjoying a sandwich in the park, getting back home, to your little garden and simple little life. So yeah, there's something quite appealing to that. That was one of the reasons that I really liked the film. There's a little scene right here where he sees a little seedling, perhaps of this giant tree. He digs it up and he builds a little origami flower pot and sticks it in, and the monk from the shrine notices him. The monk sort of blesses him, says that it's okay. Yeah, maybe there's a message there that I haven't quite figured out. A simple pleasure. There's the komorebi. It's coming through. It's quite nice. I heard people saying, oh, it's too ephemeral, it's too wabi-sabi, it's trying too hard to be something it's not, but I thought it was a pretty accurate depiction of a Tokyo life, a day or two or a week in the life of, you know, a Tokyo bachelor. I've lived it. It's pretty accurate. Just enjoying the city, discovery everywhere you look. It's nature juxtaposed on this wild man-made concrete jungle. Just consideration in every little detail. This city just never ceases to stop impressing me, stop making me fall in love with it over and over. It's nice to be able to share it a little bit with you on this wild Tokyo toilet adventure. There's a few more. We're gonna go see them. I didn't expect this to go on so long, but these coffees, the canned coffees, as opposed to the plastic PET bottles, they stay warm for much longer and they warm your hands up. Pro tip. And here's the Jito Hanbaiki. They have the plastic ones that I'm sort of talking bad about. Then they have the canned ones that keep your hands warm for quite a while. And then the dingy recycling bins so that we take care of our city. Okay, there's about 5 more. 3 or 4 of them are quite close together. It's the last bit. It's the last few toilets. One of them I've never been to before. The other 4 I have. I'm wondering if I should save it for one more day or just go for it while there's light. Let's see how we go. Let's go see the next toilet, Kuma-san's, Kengo Kuma's toilet. It is nearby and I've never been. I'm excited to see it. It looks quite exciting and fun. So off we go again. Okay, we are in the very posh back streets of Shoto, the neighborhood adjacent Shibuya where a lot of very well-to-do people live. Famous people, politicians, celebrities, and so on. They have these gorgeous sort of compound homes where they are concerned about privacy, and once you enter them, you cannot see in from the outside. I've walked past this little park in the middle of this neighborhood a number of times on my way to and fro, but I've never actually stopped and visited this park, and it's probably a little hidden gem right in the middle of Tokyo, right in the middle of Shibuya. Wow, I didn't even know about this. Wow, remarkable. Okay, so there's some girls practicing baton back there. There's a pond back here. Good grief, I had no idea. This is truly a hidden gem right in the middle of Shibuya. Had no idea. There's a little island out there, a matsu pine tree, a beautiful little bench for enjoying and relaxing. A little, what do you call that? A water wheel house. Somebody watching TV and listening to the radio. Wow, how about this? I have never known about this park. Driven in circles around this thing dozens and dozens, hundreds of times. And I had no idea. Very nice. And here we are arriving at the toilet. So this one has a timber facade that's this sort of jagged hodgepodge of pieces. It looks a little bit like a forest itself. Very much on brand with Kengo Kuma's designs, who's known for kind of some interesting lattice type work and using this kind of motif where there are timber and natural materials and finishes all zigzagging around like this. Kengo Kuma-san has a rather enormous studio in Tokyo doing world-renowned projects with a staff of some 100 people, I'm guessing. And he famously won the bid for the Olympic Stadium, the main Olympic Stadium for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. The original design was awarded to Zaha, who designed this sort of wild, crazy, sort of bird's nest, Beijing-style stadium that was going to cost an enormous fortune, and they had to scale back the budget, and it ended up being a giant fiasco, and Kengo Kuma took over. Did a pretty good job with it, I thought. I thought he made something that will last in the city for a long time. We've driven past it a bunch of times. I'll show it to you on another video. And so anyway, let's have a little listen about this space, and then let's go have a poke around. It's in a really nice park. All the kids are playing. I know, how many toilets really can you be interested in? I get it, but I'm going for it. We're not giving up. Okay, so what can we learn about this space? The name of the project is called A Walk in the Woods, and it says here, we designed a toilet village inside the lush greenery of Shoto Park. That's the name of this park. The 5 huts, each covered with eared cedar board louvers installed at random angles, are connected by a walk in the woods that disappears into the forest. Each toilet that makes up the village is designed with this distinct layout, facility, and interior to accommodate different needs, family, dressing and grooming, wheelchair, etc. By dividing each section into separate buildings, we created a public toilet village that is open, breezy, and easy to pass through. A design appropriate for the post-pandemic times. Even in our toilet design, we are entering the age of diversity and a time to go back to the forest. Okay, very cool. That seems about right. About Kuma-san. He's born in 1954. Wow, he's younger than my parents. Interesting. Received the master's degree from University of Tokyo. All these guys went to University of Tokyo. Department of Architecture. Founded Kengo Kuma and Associates in 1990. After serving as professor, currently teaches as a distinguished professor and professor emeritus at the University of Tokyo. Kuma-san decided to pursue architecture at a young age when he was inspired by the Yoyogi National Stadium that was designed by Kenzo Tange. That stadium is amazing. We've been there on the Tokyo Record Style project before. For the 1964 Olympics. Wow, okay, so that's really inspiring. How serendipitous that he got to design the 2020 Olympic Stadium, and he was inspired by Tange-san's stadiums in 1964 to study architecture. Very cool. I didn't know that. After spending time as a visiting scholar at Columbia University, he established Kengo Kuma and Associates in 1990, where he has designed architectural works for over 30 different countries. He's received the Architectural Institute of Japan Award, the Spirit of Nature Wood Architecture Award from Finland, and the International Stone Architecture Award from Italy, and with numerous other awards and recognitions from within Japan and abroad. He aims to create architecture that merges with the local environments and culture and proposes gentle human scale designs. Okay, very cool. I like that thinking. Human scale. So let's check these out. Actually, I think I need to have a little break. Okay, so we have a mixed use space. I can see women and men, and there's a fold down baby. Maybe it's a changing station. Let's have a quick look. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay, so there's wood motifs on the inside as well. Natural stone counter. What is this? What is this for? I'm not sure what that is for. What is that for? Oh, that one looks like they need to come and take care of it. That would not be the fun part of this job, I have to admit. Oh, wow. The ground's quite interesting too. It's got this wood chip mixed sort of interesting textured material that's serving as the floor here. Okay, very interesting. So there's a whole little toilet village here, and there's a framing here. Each of these wood panels is secured by this outer design that allows for these pieces to be fixed at various lengths. And here again, we see more wood motifs. This is the little kid's toilet. In the movie, I think the little boy gets stuck in here. Okay, so this one doesn't have like the ventilation that lots of the other ones have, but still really nice and inviting. The little guy toilets. I notice they're always yellow. I think they're all mixed up, and various ones depending on your how busy they are. And if it's a park full of kids, you can be sure that you will find at least one toilet that is not being used. So I think that is what I'm going to do right now. I am going to have a little potty break, and then we'll head off to see a couple more toilets. Well done, Kuma-san. We dig it. A toilet village inside the forest here. Very cool. I'm into it. I'm into it. Okay, the Tokyo toilet, designed by Kengo Kuma, 2021, June. Okay, so you never quite stop discovering, literally. I've driven around, circumnavigated this park, no joke, 1,000 times. And I've never been here. It is a stone throw from my office, yet I've never been here. Here's a cool police station of sorts with some red motif. Oh, it's the fire guys. It's some kind, oh, it's a fire station. Okay, that's quite a nice fire station. Very photogenic. Some interesting buildings around here. This would be a very nice neighborhood to live in. I know why that it's so, oh, look at this beautiful object. That's quite nice. Highly desirable place to live. It's very quiet, very centrally located, Shoto. This is where nearly the only way that you could ever afford to live in this neighborhood was if you inherited some property here or if you've hit the jackpot, because I think this is a very nice posh neighborhood. Although, having said that, there are little dingy places that somebody's trying to get their hands on. I'm sure I hesitate to call this place dingy because it's actually quite nice, but you could just tell by the architecture that it's a very old home. It's not using new building techniques. It's probably efficient in some ways and completely inefficient in others, and it's probably been there for a very long time and doesn't really compare to the sort of Ando stylized concrete works, 3-4 car garage, private entrance, or this giant glasswork home that I have no idea how you even get in, an elevated garden that nobody can see in, and lots more like it up around these streets. Very nice neighborhood of Shoto. Okay, moving on, a couple more. Folks, we are in Hiro, which is one of the neighborhoods, districts of Shibuya. It's a place where I have actually been working for over 10 years. It is technically in Shibuya-ku, but it is over near the Minato city, where Roppongi is, and Shinagawa, and so on. But here in Hiro, it is famous for being an international type community, and a lot of these high-rise mansions that you see behind me are filled with non-Japanese people who are working as international workers, dignitaries, diplomats, people who are working at the various embassies around Tokyo. There's quite a few embassies around here. These residences, sometimes like entire floors, are one residence, and they're quite cool, and I've actually been lucky enough to be invited to some gatherings at some of these places. I'm not sure I would enjoy living in one of them, but they're quite nice. And adjacent here to this area is a lot of international restaurants and markets. So it's a place that I read early in my days in Tokyo to come for an international flair, but when I came here I was a little bit underwhelmed by what I found. But having said that, after having come to know it over the years, it's a nice place to check out and to call home, I would imagine, if you're living here for a short period of time. I am here in the Hiro East Park. Now, it's another one of these gravelly dirt parks that doesn't look very alluring without many leaves on the trees, but I can assure you that when the trees are filled with leaves, it's actually quite nice. And it is multi-tiered. There are about 5 levels here, and I'm sure that when the leaves are full, there are lots of places to find some shade and enjoy a chat or a little run around in the dirt with the kids. And here we're coming to another Tokyo toilet project. This one I've never been to before, and I don't know well about it, but I see here on the outside that there is a giant screen, which may be more impressive in the evening because the screen seems to change depending on the time of day, perhaps, with different designs. There's a slight illuminated background that you can see behind the screen. I've been watching it for a while and it doesn't really seem to be changing, but let's check out the rest of this park and learn a little bit more about this toilet. We see the same graphic design on the outside of the toilet. Yeah, I'll show you the rest of the park and we will come and check out this toilet. I'm gonna take a shortcut through here, and there's the komorebi again. Very nice. And there's a little vending machine in the park and more stairs and tiers. And we can see up on this next landing is the backside of the toilet. Yeah, it's got a concrete facade, white, similar to the Ando works that I mentioned earlier. It has 2 toilets, and it seems that they are both full use and men and women. It has the special needs multi-use toilet as well as both men and women. Let's have a quick peek on the inside. Okay, so we have a little window here that lets in a little bit of natural light, I would imagine, from the back of the LCD screen that we saw on the other side. There's mirrored surfaces, a urinal on this side, toilet, the diaper changing station, and you know, the toilet. But look at this contraption. It's quite robust, right? It has the assisted handle, it has all the little washlets and stuff. And if you're curious, this is what a typical Japanese toilet has. It has the rear washlet for your bum. It has the bidet for your front. It has a stop for both. It has a dryer. It has a pressure up and down for the water pressure. Also position, you can slightly move the position. And it has like a sanitation cleaner. It also has a light flush, which is, you know, like whatever, 1.2 gallons, and then it has the full flush, which is 2.3 or whatever it might be. And then this would be an emergency button in case somebody falls, and it would probably trigger the light that might be outside of this. Accessibility features that you would expect, and some other bells and whistles. So, and there's Brian. Brian using his DJI Action Camera 4 and a little DJI mic and receiver on my selfie stick, if you've ever wondered. Okay, so let's go read a little bit about this. We'll have a quick peek. Oh, this one's occupied. And let's just have a quick look here. This toilet is designed by Tomohito Ushiro in 2022. So this is one of the newer toilets of the project, and it looks it. And like I said, it might be a little bit more special when it is at nighttime. So this one might be one to visit in the evening. It might illuminate in a way that brightens the park. Let's read a little bit about it. Okay, so again, this was designed by Tomohito Ushiro, who is the creative director, art director, and president of White Design. I don't know well about White Design. Seems like a quite fashionable dude. And this project is called Momentum. He says about it, I wanted to design a public toilet that embodies the original idea behind this project, that we are all the same in a sense, and that we are all different. I wanted this facility not only to be safe, secure, and clean, but also easy to use for everyone. Since it's inside a park, surrounded by greenery and many residents and visitors, I designed this toilet to be like a piece of public art. Very interesting. That is part of daily life, while also constantly asking questions to the viewer. I hope it becomes a monument that continues to question the significance of this project. The toilet lights up in 7.9 billion ways, as many as the world's population. It continues to illuminate the different patterns, like light filtering through the trees during the day, and like the moonlight or wandering fireflies at night. Cool. Okay, again, we're on that motif, the komorebi. You're gonna know this word by the end of this video, komorebi. Okay, so about Ushiro-san. He's born in 71. He entered Musashi no Art University, was part of the design and graphics department in 1991, transferred to visual communication design department within the same year, and started working at Hakuhodo, which is a very big agency here in Tokyo, in '95, and established White Design in 2008. And some of his notable positions include creative director of Uniqlo's sustainability division, brand strategy advisor for Atama Plus, not sure what that is, and visiting professor at Osaka University of Economics, Faculty of Human Sciences. Major projects include Fast Retailing Sustainability Report at Uniqlo, Doraemon Sustainamode. That's Doraemon is one of the characters of Japan. He's kind of like a go-go gadget sidekick that one of the Japanese characters has, and he's got all kinds of gadgets that he's a beloved character in Japanese animation. Maybe you know Doraemon. He's got Sustaina mode. I'm not sure what that is, but Ushiro-san is behind that concept. And UT the Peace for All. That is a project by Uniqlo where customers can make donations by purchasing t-shirts. And finally, it says here, in recent years, his work has expanded beyond branding and advertisement and into fields of fashion, architecture, retail display, and art. Is it changing? Doesn't seem like it's changing to me, but maybe it is. Well, at any rate, I'm sure that if we came back later in the evening, it would be illuminated and it would look, as Ushiro-san said, like a public works art piece, a piece of public art that is illuminated in 7.9 billion different ways, inspiring us to question what it means to be the same and to be different. All these toilets are different and unique, and yet they all serve the same purpose. Okay, a few more, my last 3, and they're kind of the ones I'm looking forward to the most because they're the ones that I've probably actually used the most. By the end of this video, I will have used them all. Okay, off to the next few stops. Hey folks, we are outside of Ebisu Station, one of the major stations on the Yamanote line that circumnavigates the city, and it is named after the kami-sama, the deity named Ebisu, who you can see here is posing with a fish. I've talked about Ebisu on my channel. He's one of my personal Japanese heroes, and this station is named after him. The Ebisu Beer Company is named after him, and he's one of the 7 lucky gods. And right next to him, right outside of Ebisu Station, is this project called White. This is by Kazoo Sato. This is one of the toilets for the Tokyo Toilet Project, and it is in a very prominent spot right here outside of the station with the entrance to the Shibuya line, the Yamanote line, and right next to the Koban, the Ebisu Koban. So as you can see, it has a pretty loud and expressed prominence right here outside of the station, and its color actually helps with its own impact. Let's have a little look. It has an entrance from over here on the back side. You can see again ongoing motifs, the signage that explains everything that's going on. It is a bright entrance right here. Here is the back side of it, and we can see here that Kazoo Sato designed it in 2021. It has sort of that Engawa feel from Ando-san's work. The light is filtering through, so it feels particularly safe. Yeah, we can walk around all of it, and it has a steel lattice that is suspending this facade on the outside. And let's just have a look at one of the toilets on the inside. Okay, it looks fairly well used, but also clean and nice. It has all the amenities, as they all do, but gosh, I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know how many toilets you can look at and be impressed, but I still am. I mean, I haven't actually, oh, that's kind of quite cool light. Ooh, I like that. Wow, that's funky. I have, you know, I would almost say like some traumatic experiences going to terrible toilets in big American cities, and Japan is just such a far cry from that. It's right here under the Yamanote line. I can hear the Yamanote line going. The multi-use toilet is being occupied at the moment, so we won't be able to see that, but you can get an idea. The project is called White. Let's read a little bit about it. Okay, again, the architect is Kazoo Sato, and he's the creative director of Samurai Inc. White, clean and safe. Since this toilet is located beside the police box and in front of the Ebisu Station, which is a neighborhood symbol that people see every day, we thought it should not be too conspicuous. The facility should be easy to enter, easy to use, and have a clean appearance that inspire the passerby to feel a little bit brighter and fresher. Okay, I feel a little bit brighter and fresher. The pure white toilet was designed by addressing every point of consideration that are usually taken for granted in a restroom facility. About Sato-san, about Kashiwa Sato, major works include the symbol mark design of the National Arts Center, okay, the global brand strategy of Uniqlo, lots of these architects are working for Uniqlo, and the Fuji Kindergarten and Cup Noodle Museum. Oh, the Fuji Kindergarten might be that circular kindergarten that the kids get to run around in this crazy treehouse sort of awesome kindergarten. I'm not sure if that's the one. I bet it is though. And the Cup Noodle Museum, I haven't been there yet, where he was involved as a producer. His work for Uniqlo Park in Yokohama Bayside and Kurash Sushi Akasaka Rocks was registered by the Japan Patent Office in November of 2020 as the first interior design in the country, enabling him to develop a wide range of creations that iconically embody the brand. He is a Japan Cultural Envoy FY 2016 for the Agency of Cultural Affairs, Government of Japan, and a visiting professor at Keio University, and a faculty of art and design at Tama Art University. And he's got a long list of publications here. That is White by Kashiwa Sato, right outside of Ebisu Station in the heart of Tokyo on the Yamanote line. There it goes right there, next to the police box. They didn't give me any grief for videotaping outside on a tripod, which they sometimes do. I'm gonna cross the street and show you two more of these that I'm excited to share. They're the last two. Okay, we're nearly done. Okay, folks, next stop on the Tokyo toilet tour. I already see the taxi cab stopping here. There's always a line of taxis here. Is now Tamura's very iconic red toilet. Look how bright and vibrant this thing is. You want to use that toilet? I do too. This was featured prominently in the film Perfect Days. There's a scene where one of the taxi drivers has to go really bad. He's got to go, and Hideyama-san is still cleaning the toilet. He has to get out of the way for the taxi driver to use it. It is very bright and colorful and welcoming, and I read a bit about it that it is meant to welcome Shibuya's international travelers. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's on a little tiny piece of property just stuck here next to the train tracks. You can see this little tiny wedge that goes up against the embankment here where the train tracks go, and on this little tiny piece of land here, there's been a big, beautiful, vibrant, good grief, this would be great for a photo shoot, public toilet. So there are no doors, that's the women's, so I want to be mindful of that. And here is the men's, and it looks like it's being occupied at the moment. And here are the multi-use room as well as the cleaning facility. We can see the map here again, and you can see the shape of the rooms. It's in a triangle, and let's just have a quick peek look in the toilet. I have a feeling this one's gonna be well used. Oh, but look, it's pretty nice. Not bad. It's pretty clean. There's not natural light being let into the space. You're certainly hit with a surprise of color when you come out. More taxis stopping by. I want to be mindful of, but just a quick look from the outside. You can see there's like concrete walls and a big steel frame here. A very nice, cool design. I quite like it. I love the color. And in the bright sunshine, it's really glowing. Let me read you a little bit about Nao Tamura and this project. Okay, so about this project, it is the Higashi Sanchome toilet, and it is designed by Nao Tamura. And she is the only other woman who has designed a toilet for the Tokyo Toilet Project. The very first toilet that we saw in Sasazuka, which was designed by Junko Kobayashi, she's the only other woman architect. So women architects, where are you? Get on this design team. Let's get more women designing cool things for our cities. Lots of taxis coming. I'm getting honked out of the way because I think a taxi's got to have a pit stop. So it says here that about this project from Nao Tamura, she says, the toilet is a place where we address physical needs universal to all of mankind, regardless of age, sexual identity, nationality, religion, or skin color. As we come into an age of increased awareness, how can a communal space like a public bathroom evolve in order to effectively accommodate our infinitely diverse needs? Living in New York, I have been privileged privilege to witness the LGBTQ plus community living in alignment with their sexual identities. As I designed this public toilet for a small triangular lot in Shibuya, I envisioned a society that embraces the LGBTQ plus community and holds space for them to live their truth. I realized that enables each user to a comfortable experience, and that boils down to safety, privacy, and urgency. We haven't heard that much about urgency. Maybe that's why there's no doors on the toilets. There's a sense of urgency. I can see our taxi driver who's driving the white Uber here is having a smoke. He's having a little smoke break. So she says here, with this in mind, I created 3 separate spaces that redefine the way a public toilet establishes personal space. Okay. And this design was inspired by origata, a traditional Japanese method of decorative wrapping. Have you ever seen the Japanese way of wrapping presents? They use sort of like an origami technique. They're these very intricate designs. This was inspired by the art of origata. A symbol of gift giving, this motif embodies the spirit of hospitality towards Shibuya Ward's multinational visitors and carries my vision to create a safe space that envelops all users. Very nice. It's a busy public toilet. This design represents my hope for a society where people of all walks of life feel safe and are able to thrive. And a bit more about Nao Tamura. She is a designer in the most modern terms. Her talents cross over cultures, languages, disciplines, concepts, and styles, with consistency of smart thinking always at the heart of their work. As a product of Tokyo and New York creative communities, her solutions are equally at ease in the world of 2D and 3D. Her unique solutions are the most simple design and possess a rare balance of innovation and beauty. There's a big purple Jeep taking off in the distance here. Nao Tamura has also received a number of prestigious awards, including the IF Design Award, Red Dot Design Award, Industrial Design Excellence Awards, Milano Salone Satellite Award, and so on. Okay, Tamura-san, we like this project a lot. It's very beautiful and inspiring, and we like that it has a sense of impact and urgency to it. I think a lot of the people who are using this toilet feel a sense of urgency. So I think it's very fitting that it's red and that it's vibrant and that it's beautiful. And yeah, I dig it. I'm gonna come here and maybe use it as a backdrop for a photo session. Okay, so I thought there was one more, but it turns out that there's 2 more. So 2 more to go. We're nearly there, folks. Are you toileted out? You didn't think you could be toileted out, but believe me, I think I'm getting there myself. OT'd. I'm over-toileted. Check out this gorgeous GMC van. Okay, we are here at another little park that I can't say I've actually been to. No, I definitely have not been to this park. I've driven past it a number of times, but I've never been. Wow, what an interesting little park. I had no idea this was here. Check this out. This is really cool. Look at these different buildings. There's such a peculiar architectural vernacular. Look at all these crazy pencil buildings. That one over there is speaking to this one over here. The spiral staircase on this one is communicating with this one. The square windows, the color palette. Look at that. I've never been back here before. Very, very cool. There seems to be some kind of community hall. Wow, what a great park. I wonder if this is like a kindergarten or something. But there seems to be some kind of community hall and a cool rocket ship slide. Yeah, a nice park for children and families to come and play. And there is a toilet that is prominently featured in Perfect Days, and it is this one, designed by Masamichi Katayama. It is a big stone-walled looking almost maze of a toilet. It looks quite wild. This floor plan looks rather off the wall. And it seems, okay, so there's access to this toilet here and this one here and more rooms here and a couple of different ways to access this toilet. And it's using, again, this concrete facade that we often see, but it has this wooden texture on it that helps it blend in a little bit to the natural environment. Again, this one is featured prominently in the movie. The light right now is just absolutely gorgeous. And I believe this is one of the scenes where he brings his niece. Actually, this seems to be one of the nicer ones that I've visited. This seems to be the all-purpose multi-use space, and it seems to be not occupied, so let's have a look. Okay, so all the way inside, we have this continued texture, and the light in the room is really nice, and we have these strange angles and bizarre corners, and it makes for a really playful place. There's actually wow, it's really cool, very photogenic. There's a full changing station here that seems like you could change a couple of diapers at the same time. Or perhaps if somebody got heat stroke or needed a place to catch their breath. Let's read up a little bit about it. It's pretty impressive. I'm digging on this. It's kind of becoming, I think, one of my favorites. Okay, so this project is called Modern Kawaya. Masamichi Katayama, who designed this project, who is part of the Wonderwall design studio, said that we kept in mind a facility that distances itself from architectural concepts and elements, an object that stands casually in the park, as if it were playground equipment, benches, or trees. It kind of does sort of fade off, especially into this gravel, dirt playground. In Japan, the origin of toilets is kawaya. The first word for toilet in Japan is kawaya, written initially as kawaya and then later the Japanese kanji, and is also pronounced kawaya. So kawaya was a hut. Kawa means river and ya means hut or house. It dates back to the Neolithic times of the early Jomon period, which is about 10,000 years to 6,000 years BCE. These huts were primitive and simple designs often made of hardened soil or pieces of wood bound together. Trying to envision the appearance and atmosphere of the primitive kawaya of the past, we built an ambiguous space that is simultaneously an object and a toilet by randomly combining 15 concrete walls. The spaces between the walls lead users into 3 different areas designed for men, women, and everyone. This design creates a unique relationship in which users are invited to interact with the facility as if they are playing with a curious piece of playground equipment. That's very nice. Yeah, it has a playfulness to it that I really appreciate. That's probably why I like it so much. And the juxtaposition of the concrete, the wood texture, and the color against the backdrop of the buildings, and it's quite cool. Muted vibe. It's sort of pure Tokyo. About Katayama-san, it says here, he's the principal and founder at Wonderwall Inc., professor at Musashi Art University, Department of Scenography, Space, and Fashion Design. Notable projects include, again, Uniqlo, global flagship stores in New York, Paris, Ginza, Japan House of London. Okay, he's behind that project. That's a very prestigious project. A project that was led by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Toranomon Hills Business Tower retail environment and Arch. Katayama received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Frame Award 2020, sponsored by the Dutch magazine Frame, following Philip Stark in 2019. Okay, big shoes to fill there. Well, that's very cool. The project is called Modern Kawaya. I like that. Kawaya is like a very old way of saying toilet. I've learned this word in my Japanese studies. And another funny word from a long time ago is gozaru. Gozaru is how to say des or to be in old language, and sometimes when I go to the restaurant, I ask them where the kawaya is. I say, kawaya wa doko de gozaru ka? And they always get a laugh because I'm basically saying, where doth the outhouse beeth, or something like this. It gets a little chuckle from, it's kind of an oyaji gag, old man's joke. But anyway, that is the Modern Kawaya, and I really dig it. Katayama-san, congratulations on this great project. I really like it. I have to say, possibly my favorite of the lot. It has a lot to do with this lovely park and these amazing buildings and kind of the discovery of it all that I'm just having for the first time today. Again, another park that I've driven around dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of times, and just have never been. I'm really digging these tower buildings. They're very interesting. I see like somebody's got a little breakfast patio up there. I'm not sure if that's the life for me, but it would be fun to have a second little city getaway. Okay, one more. Last one, very last one. I promise, I promise. It's going on entirely too long. I wonder how long this video is gonna be. I wonder what we're gonna call this video. Is it gonna be Tokyo Toilet? Is it gonna be Everybody Poops? What is it gonna be? Is it gonna be how many toilets can keep your interest? We're not sure yet. But let's go put the finishing touches on this video and go check out the last toilet. Off we go for the last time. Folks, we are at our final destination. We are in another Ebisu park. It might be called the East Ebisu Park, but it's known by locals as Taco Koen because it has this giant red taco behind me. Taco means octopus in Japanese, and this vibrant red playground equipment is what gives the park its name. There's some kids playing on it right now, and it's just a fun little goofy thing that's in the park. I've seen much bigger versions of it. I'm not sure who the artist is behind the tacos that are in various parks around Tokyo, but this is one of the more famous ones. It's also one of the smaller ones. I've seen some really big, intricate octopus playground equipments that are out there. So this one's kind of modest, but it's quite cool. And this park is right next to my old office. I have spent hundreds and hundreds of days in this park. My office is right around the corner. I've been working there for 10 years, which is nearly 4,000 days. So if you can imagine the amount of times that I've come to this park, it's gotta be in the hundreds, if not thousands. I've certainly walked past it that many times. And when the weather's right, I love to come and have picnics down here, just enjoy a little respite from the office, take a little walk through, maybe get a tea, maybe a little ice cream or something. There is the Ebisu River, Shibuya River, one of the rivers that flows through town here. And there's some just office buildings that are all a part of Ebisu. It's a very, very popular park for movies and TV shows. There's lots of production crews who are filming famous actors and actresses here, and giant sets with hundreds of people who are telling everybody to be quiet and that we're starting to film now. And it happens in the early morning hours when I'm just heading to work, or late at night when I'm heading home. And it also happens to be the spot of our final destination on the Tokyo Toilet Tour, and the very first one that's featured in the movie Perfect Days by Wim Wenders. That is one of the reasons that I really liked this movie, is because in the very first scene, this is the toilet that sets the stage for our hero, Hirayama-san, and I said, oh my gosh, that's my neighborhood. That's my local toilet. That's the one that I walk past every single day. And I already got off to a really great start by knowing about this. Now, I can remember the toilet that was here before the Tokyo Toilet Project, and it was a trough type urinal, and it was so uninviting, and you just peed into like a steel wall. It was awful. And the little guys want to say hi. You guys want to say hi? Hello. Hello. They all want to say hi. And so hello. I'm very happy to come and end this video here. Hello. 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 See you. See you. So they're all quite friendly. And this is done by Maki-san, Fumihiko Maki, who is one of the most veteran architects in Japan for many, many years. He has designed some of the most iconic and large-scale works. He is a tastemaker and a very influential and important architect of great Japanese importance. Hello, guys. You guys want to come say hello? Come say hello. Everybody say hello. 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 Nansai, how old is everybody? Eigo de.
I am 7.
I'm 7. 7. Nansai. Nansai, what? 1, 2, 3? Okay, how old are you guys? Nansai. 8? Okay, and Nansai, all right, 8. How do you guys think about this toilet? このトイレはどう思う? 普通? きれい。このトイレはどう思う? What do you guys think about this toilet? Disgusting? You think this one's disgusting? I've seen more disgusting toilets than this. I think it's quite good. I think this one's quite good. Wow. Yeah? Okay.
Bye.
Okay. See you guys. All right. Bye now. See you. Thanks for coming and saying hello. That was fun. Sometimes I'm like the Pied Piper here. But at any rate, this toilet is a giant improvement from what was here. Its designer, Maki-san, might have sadly passed away right before this project was finished. He's passed in the last 3 years. I fail to remember exactly when, but it is a funky sort of shaped rooftop, you know, flying paper, almost it looks like. It's just laid right on top of the structure, and it's got a kind of open floor plan that we can enjoy. It's got the multi-use toilet, which is being occupied, the men's over here, and the women's, and maybe the cleaning closet. I'm not sure, I've never actually been over here, but at the men's toilet, we have both the high sink and the low sink. I mean, these look like fixtures that you would have in your home. And oh no, we have a disaster, very big disaster in this toilet. Oh my goodness, I think I can't show you this. In all my days, I've never seen a disaster this bad. Oh my goodness, I think we can't do it. It's just, trust me, everybody poofs. Oh no, I see what's happened. The toilet is out of order and somebody got kind of imaginative with the urinal. What a way to end this video. What a way to end this video. Anyway, I'm very pleased to share this toilet with you, and I will tell you a little bit about its background and about Maki-san. Just give me 1 second. Now I understand why these kids were saying that this toilet is disgusting. Today it is. Today it is. It normally isn't. Okay, so about this project, designed by the amazing people at Maki's office, Fumihiko Maki. He says here in the statement, "We are grateful for the opportunity to reconsider the use of public spaces through this public toilet project." Using the toilet as a racquetball wall. How about that? That's kind of interesting. The project site, Ebisu East Park, is a popular neighborhood park that is used as a children's playground and is filled with lush greenery. Not today, but yes, in the summertime it is, I promise. We wanted the facility to function not only as a public restroom, but also as a public space that serves as a park pavilion, equipped with a rest area. There's a little bench over there on the side. I often see people sitting there taking a little rest. Thinking about a variety of uses from children to people on their way to work, we wanted to create a safe and comfortable space that uses decentralized layout to allow a good sight of lines throughout the facility. The cheerful roof that integrates the different sections promotes ventilation and natural light. It certainly does that. Creating a bright and clean environment while giving the facility a unique appearance similar to playground equipment. Okay, that's a repeating motif. Ebisu East Park is also known as Octopus Park because it's octopus playground equipment that we talked about over here. We hope this new facility, the squid toilet, will become a popular addition to the park. And a bit about Maki-san. He was born in 1928 and he graduated from the University of Tokyo, Department of Architecture in 1952. Long legacy of famous architects coming from University of Tokyo. Holds a master's degree at Cranbrook Academy of Art and the Harvard Graduate School of Design. Worked at Skidmore, Owings and Merrill, and Sir Jackson and Associates. Taught as an associate professor at the University of Washington, Harvard University from 1956 to 1965. Boy, this guy goes way back. Returned to Japan in 1965 and established Maki and Associates and basically built Daikanyama. All the buildings up and down the main Daikanyama Boulevard are all designed by Maki. Taught as a professor at the University of Tokyo from 79 to 89. Notable awards include the 1988 Wolf Prize in Arts, the 1990 Thomas Jefferson Awards for Public Architecture, the 1993 International Union of Architects Gold Medal, and the Prince of Wales Prize in Urban Design presented by Harvard University, the 1999 Arnold Brunner Memorial Architecture Award, and the Premium Imperial for Architecture. Was awarded the prestigious Pritzker Prize in 1993. He may have been the first Japanese architect to win that prize, and received the gold medal from the AIA, American Institute of Architects, in 2011. So a very accomplished architect in Japan, and I know one that many of the aforementioned architects that we met along this journey looked up to, including the ones who I know quite well. So thank you, Maki-san and Associates, for designing this lovely toilet that I have used numerous times. times, and that always helps me out in a state of urgency on my way to work. I really actually appreciate this, and it's so much better. I remember, who remembers what was here before? It was not nice, and this is a very big improvement. And this Tokyo toilet project is a really fun way to experience the city, to discover architecture, and to think about these things that we all need to do. We all got to take care of business, and it's nice to be able to do it in nice facilities. And in Japan, you can even go to the public park and have a kid bouncing a soccer ball or a volleyball off the wall behind you. You know, everybody poops. So this was a fun little journey. I had a good time going and revisiting all the spots in Wim Wenders' movie, Perfect Days. What I heard about the movie was that what initially going to be made was a promotional video about all the toilets. Turned out to be such an interesting topic that it became a full feature-length movie. And Koji Yakusho, who plays Hirayama-san in the film, gave an incredible performance. I'm not going to give the movie away, but I highly recommend you watch it. Wim Wenders' Perfect Days and Koji Yakusho, the finale is so good. One of the best performances I have seen in years. It's very subtle, it's a bit ephemeral. It might not be for all, but it really touched me. Along with the music, and along with the message, and along with the notion of a simple life with simple pleasures, like good, wholesome work with your hands, music, nature, little moments in our lives. It was a special movie that I really enjoyed. I thought it was a great way to celebrate our city, to get a taste of Tokyo. If you're interested in Japan and architecture and Japanese design and the big city life, I highly recommend checking this movie out, Perfect Days. It's really cool. If you come to Tokyo, consider visiting Shibuya and some of these public toilets, and you know, you'll never know the kinds of ways you can discover the city through the most unlikely places. There's a little something to learn for everyone, and for me, it just is endless discovery. I keep learning more and more about the city. So this was a really fun exercise, and thank you for coming along. Which was your favorite? I think Katayama-san's, the one before Maki-san's, was my favorite. What was yours? Did you make it through all 17? Congratulations, salute to you if you did. I commend you. Okay, I gotta go take care of some business. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until next time, see you at the public toilet. Okay, bye. Okay, folks, I told you that if you stuck around to the end, you would find out what this thing is. I saw it in numerous toilets in the Tokyo Toilet Project, and I could not figure out what its purpose was, but I found out. When you want to come to the toilet and you might need to change your clothes and you don't want to put your clean feet or clean socks on the dirty bathroom floor, then you can pull down a little new floor that can keep your feet clean, free of germs on the toilet while you change your clothes and put your new stockings on or new socks. And dun, da, da, da. Isn't that clever? And then when you're finished with it, you can just throw your shoes back on and close it up nice and clean for the next person. I know, right? It's just these little touches that make this country what it is. Okay, there you go. Congratulations for sticking to the end. See you next time. Bye.